Welcome to our channel, and today topic is internal structure of ovary. So in this lecture we will discuss about the structure of ovary, and we will learn about the different follicles that are formed inside this ovary and how this ovulation occur. So let's start. So first there is basic information about this oogenesis, about these follicles, what is their number, about the menstrual cycle. So first, this oogenesis starts before the birth of the female child. That is the most interesting thing about this oogenesis, that it starts even before the birth of the female child. Second, this ovary is fully formed by the end of 12th week. So inside the mother, this fetus by the end of 12th week has completely developed these ovaries. And what is the number of primordial follicles? It is 2 million. And at the time of birth, what is the number? It is 1 million follicles. And when the girl child reaches the puberty, at that time this number reduced to 40,000. So there is a reduction in this number from 2 million to 40,000. So next question is, what is this puberty? What do you mean by this puberty? So puberty is the age at which the reproductive system becomes functional. What is the meaning of functional? That the sex organs begins to produce gametes and the sex hormone, that is called the puberty. So there is a term that is called the atresia. So this reduction, that is from 2 million to 40,000 at the time of puberty, is called the atresia. This large scale restriction in the follicles is called our atresia. Now the development of primordial follicles into the mature Graafian follicles. What is Graafian follicles? A structure from which the ovulation will occur. So this development, or you can say this transformation from primordial follicles to the mature Graafian follicles, starts at the puberty. And normally it starts at the age of 10 to 14 years. It will vary from child to child, and that is called the menstrual cycle. So during each menstrual cycle that will occur every month, only one of the primordial follicle grows to form this Graafian follicle. So out of these 40,000 primordial follicles, every month menstrual cycle will occur, and during each menstrual cycle only one primordial follicle is going to mature and forms the Graafian follicles. Only one ova is going to release. Alternatively, from one of the ovaries, this development will occur. So that is called our menstrual cycle. We will discuss about it in detail. So first menstrual cycle begins normally at 13 years, and that is called the menarche. That is the normal, or we can say the average. Normally in girl child it occurs at 13 years, and that is called the menarche. First menstrual cycle is called the menarche, and the stop, or this menstrual cycle stop in females, that is called the menopause. And what is its age? That is 45 to 55 years. So we learn about the oogenesis, when the oogenesis starts before the birth. What is the number of follicles? Earlier it is 2 million, and it reduces to 40,000 at the time of puberty. And next we will learn about the puberty. What is puberty? So puberty is the age at which the reproductive system becomes functional and the sex organs starts to produce the gametes and the sex hormone, that is called the puberty. And this large scale restriction is called the atresia. Next we will discuss about the maturation of primordial follicles into the Graafian follicles, and that will occur at the time of menstrual cycle. And this menstrual cycle starts normally at 13 years, and that is called the menarche, and stop, or we can say this stop is called the menopause. And what is its age? That is 45 to 50 years. So this is the basic information. Now let's start the main topic, that is our internal structure of our ovary. So here is the structure of this ovary. So in this you can see this ovary is divided into two parts. First you can see this is a cortex, that is our outer part, that is called our cortex. It is a compact structure, and this compact structure contains a number of developing follicles. A number of follicles are here present inside this cortex. And second part of ovary is our medulla. This central part is called the medulla, and this medulla contains a matrix that is called the stroma, and that stroma has a number of blood vessels, lymph vessels, and nerve fibers present. It is a type of connective tissue. So ovary is divided into two parts. Outer is our cortex and the inner is our medulla. And inside this medulla, what is present? A connective tissue that is called the stroma. And inside the stroma, what are present? Blood vessels, lymph vessels, and nerve fibers. So this is the outline of this ovary. And this cortex, as you can see here, this is a layer. It is externally covered by germinal epithelium. So this cortex is externally covered by the germinal epithelium, and this germinal epithelium is covered externally by the layer that is called the tunica albuginea. So in this figure you can see here set days are written. What is these days? Day 1, day 12, day 14, day 20. These are the days of the menstrual cycle. So on the first day, you can see here it is this follicle is called the primordial follicle. And now this primordial follicle starts to mature. First it converts into a primary follicle, and then this primary follicle into secondary follicle, and at the day 12 it becomes a secondary follicle. Then it converts into a tertiary follicle, then it matures, and finally it forms a mature follicle, that is all called a Graafian follicle. And then ovulation will occur on day 14. On day 14 of menstrual cycle, this ovulation occur. And after this ruptured follicle is going to convert into a structure that is called the corpus luteum, and finally it converts into a corpus albigans. So this is the overall structure of our ovary. So we will discuss in more detail. So here's the detailed structure. So first you can see, as we know that before birth these follicles has developed because the ovary is fully developed. So you can see here this is our oogonium, and this oogonium is diploid and it undergo mitosis to form the primary oocyte, and it arrests in the prophase 1. So because here what is going to form in this entire structure, that is our ovaries, ova has to form, and ova is our a gamete. And how the gametes are formed? Through the meiosis, that is the reduction division. But that reduction division is not going to occur at the same time. It occurs intermittently after a gap in case of oogenesis. That is the most interesting thing about this oogenesis. First interesting thing is that before the actual birth of the child, this ovary is completely developed and starts forming the follicles. And second, what is that this meiosis or reduction division not occurs in a single, you can say in the same time. It occurs intermittently after a gap. So that is the second important feature of this oogenesis. So first you can see there is a structure that is called the oogonium, and it is a diploid structure, and it undergo mitosis to form the primary oocyte. And this primary oocyte remains arrested in prophase 1. That is the meiosis 1, prophase 1. and here the childbirth occurs and the female born with this primary oocyte. So at the time of childbirth, what is present? These primary oocyte which are arrested at prophase 1. And now after birth, when the puberty reach, that is 10 to 14 years, this first meiosis occurs. When the puberty has reached, first meiosis occur and this primary oocyte converts into a secondary oocyte, and as the first meiosis occurs, so this ploidy level is also changed. Earlier is a diploid one and here it becomes a haploid. So before birth it is a primary oocyte and its ploidy is 2n, and after birth when the puberty reach, meiosis 1 occurs and a secondary oocyte form, but again there is a rest, or you can say there is a gap. This secondary oocyte again arrests in prophase 2nd, and when the sperm enters into the female body, then only this second meiosis completed. Understand? So first there is a oogonium that undergo mitosis and form the primary oocyte, and the childbirth will occur, and after childbirth when the puberty reach, meiosis 1 occurs and forms the secondary oocyte, and again it arrests in prophase 2nd, but when the sperm enters into the female body, this secondary oocyte completes its second meiosis. So this is the complete development of this oocyte from oogonium to secondary oocyte, and finally it will form the ova. So here you can see this is the structure of our ova. So this is a primordial follicles where the number of cells are present in a cluster, and each of these cell is going to enlarge in size and forms the primary follicle. And what is a primary follicle? When the primary oocyte is covered by a layer of cells, that is called the follicular cells. Next, this primary follicle is converted into a secondary follicle. So what is the characteristic feature of secondary follicle? The center there is a primary oocyte, and that primary oocyte is covered by a zona pellucida, and this zona pellucida is non-cellular structure, and that is secreted by this primary oocyte and the follicular cells, and it is glycoprotein in nature. Next, what are present? A number of layers are present of these follicular cells, and now we will give a name to these multicellular structure or multi-layer structure. We called it granulosa cells or discus proligerus. And externally this granulosa cells is covered by theca, that is the external layer, and this theca is divided into two parts. It is a two-layer structures. This outer part is called the theca externa, and it is a connective tissue, and it is a, you can say, a protective structure of this follicle. And internal layer is called the theca interna, that is the secretory one, and it is going to produce the estrogen. So this is the structure of our early secondary follicles. What is late secondary follicle? When the cavities are going to develop. Cavities will develop in these granulosa cell, then we say it is a late secondary follicle. That is the characteristic of late secondary follicle. And finally this late secondary follicle is converted into our main follicle, that is our mature Graafian follicles. So this is our mature Graafian follicles, and it is also called tertiary follicle, primary, secondary and the tertiary. So this is our tertiary follicle, and what is its name? Graafian follicles, after the name of the scientist who discovered this follicle. So that's why it is called the Graafian follicle. So what is the characteristic feature of this Graafian follicles, or you can say how can you identify that it is a Graafian follicle? So here you can see there is a large cavity present, this pink color structure you can see here. What is it? It's a antrum. It is a cavity and its name is antrum. But this cavity is not empty. It is filled with a fluid. and that fluid is called the liquor folliculi. What is the name of the fluid? Liquor folliculi. And this liquor folliculi is secreted by these surrounding cells, or you can say the follicular cells. That's why its name is liquor folliculi. So you can see here is what is present. It is a eccentric structure is there. Eccentric means not at the centers, away from the center, that is called the eccentric. So here the oocyte is eccentric, and you can see here what is the oocyte name. It is the secondary oocyte. What is the condition? This one here, the meiosis 1 has done, and it is a secondary oocyte. So at what stage secondary oocyte form? At the Graafian stage. When the Graafian follicle or the mature follicle is formed, then the meiosis 1 occur at the time of puberty. This secondary oocyte is covered again by a layer that is called the zona pellucida, and as a cavity is formed, some granulosa cells cover this secondary follicles, and now these follicular or the granulosa cells are called the corona radiata. And how this secondary oocyte structure is attached to the main granulosa cells? By a mass of follicular cells, and this complete structure is called the cumulus oophrus. Now after some time, this attachment or connection is dissolved. These are digested by a number of enzymes, and what will occur? The rupturing of this follicle occurs. What will occur? This follicle is going to rupture, and it is going to release this secondary oocyte. And when the rupture occurs, this ova is released surrounded by these follicular cells. And now the remaining ruptured follicle along with this theca is called our corpus hemorrhagica. So this remaining structure is called the corpus hemorrhagica. Why we are saying corpus hemorrhagica? Because after rupturing here, the bleeding will occur, because in stoma blood capillaries and everything is present there. So the bleeding will occur, but that bleeding will stop and forms a clot. So because of the clot formation, this structure is called the corpus hemorrhagica. Now this corpus hemorrhagica will convert into a yellowish structure that is called our corpus luteum. And what is the function of this corpus luteum? It is a temporary endocrine gland, and it is going to secrete a progesterone. And what is the function of this progesterone? It is going to maintain the pregnancy. So here, when the ova is released and the sperm enters, when the ovulation occurs, sperm will enter, and if the fertilization occurs, then this structure, this yellow structure, that is the corpus luteum, will remain maintained and act as a temporary endocrine gland and secrete the progesterone, and that progesterone will maintain the pregnancy. But if the fertilization not occurs, what will occur? This corpus luteum starts to degenerate and convert into a whitish body that is called the corpus albigans. So this is the overall structure of this ovary and how the maturation of the follicles occur. So just remember, what is egg tube of Flugger? What is egg nest? So this oogonium extends into this matrix in the form of cones, and at the ends of cord, what is present? A mass of cell that is called the egg nest, and this egg nest is finally convert or forms the primordial. Now we will see what is the structure of this Graafian follicle. If it comes in your exams, how you will draw it. So this is the structure of Graafian follicles. So you can show here first theca externa, that is the external one, then theca interna, and inside it what is present are granulosa cells, and these granulosa cells enclose a cavity that is our antrum, and finally one eccentric oocyte is present because that is not towards the center. That's why we are saying it is an eccentric oocyte. So this is the structure which you have to draw in your board exams. Thank you for watching this video, and if this video is helpful for you, please like and subscribe our channel. See you in next lecture.